Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I can honestly tell you that I am more confused than ever. The TNA, Global Force Wrestling, the up and down, back and forth. I can honestly tell you that I really thought that they were getting it going in the right direction, maybe trying to build the fan base that they had. And in the last couple of weeks, we've heard stories come out that Global Force Wrestling is going to be staying on Pop TV. One good thing about that is at least they have television, and we're not going through the whole Spike, Destination America, where are we going to go next fiasco that we've been going through for the last couple of years. The Pop deal in the United States is not the best deal for that company, with them being an ad revenue sharing deal. There's no just flat, this is how much we're going to give you per episode. If it gets better, they can charge more for the ads, they can make more money that way. But it is what it is. You got to find a way to stay on television, even if it's only on Pop TV. We've heard that they're going to be launching their own Global Force Wrestling network, where I guess you'll be able to go and watch, all of the old pay-per-views. You'll be able to watch all of the old impacts, maybe the old, DVD documentary specials. Just trying to get some money. There are hardcore TNA fans, and there's even hardcore wrestling fans that there's something on there that they feel is worth the money. They're going to give it to them. And I don't think it costs a lot of money to have something like that going. It's been a long time since they talked about it, but I think that TNA launched sort of like an online library years ago. I remember I won a contest one time on a pay-per-view, and that was the prize that they gave me, was one free month. And I honestly went onto it one time. I just wanted to see how it worked. Everything from their library wasn't up there, but I can honestly tell you that most of the things were there, and most of the DVDs were up to date. Whatever the newest release documentary at the time was on there. So I mean, if they're not really putting out wrestler documentaries like they were back in the day, but it was one way, if you didn't want to buy the DVD, to at least see it and see it legally. But the story that is out now is that Anthem, the company, the Fight Network that bought TNA, is now looking to get out of the wrestling business. And I guess Jeff Jarrett has been sent home. He's been removed from power. Maybe someday we'll hear what went down to make him be sent home, because this to me honestly seems like it comes out of the middle of nowhere, to where he is, basically they buy his junk of a company, Global Force Wrestling, that was never going anywhere. It was never going to get off the ground. Those pilots that they shot in Vegas years back were never going to be seen. No one was going to buy those. And if they did, how much money would it be to get that company jump started once again? I think they had some momentum. They were running those house shows, and then it just stops. You can't just get something going that hasn't been going in 2 years. So they buy it, they use the name, they bring in the titles, they get everything going. Now out of the middle of nowhere, Jeff's removed and Anthem wants out. Now they're stuck with this company that's no longer Impact, no longer TNA, it's Global Force Wrestling. Now when they go to shop it, are people not going to know what it is? And instead of at least having some name recognition as TNA or as Impact, now they're Global Force Wrestling, and now nobody knows what they are. They're already a company with very few well-known wrestlers outside of the hardcore wrestling community. They've got Bobby Lashley, they've got James Storm, they've got Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards, Bram. I can't really go far past there, and it tells you, who's in the company. The word on the street is the word that people have been talking about honestly since the beginning of time, is that WWE will buy TNA to have the online, or I guess you can say the tape library to put on the WWE network, and they'll go from there. I guess the whole connection is that John Gaborik, who's the idiot from Tough Enough, is still connected to Kevin Dunn, and that's their in to get to talk to people about WWE. I'm not rooting for TNA, Global Force Wrestling Impact, to die, but it's just getting to the point where it's just like, I can't make the video anymore saying I hope these guys pull through, I hope they find a way, because there's a lot of guys that work there that have a lot of talent, and you know, a lot of these guys, maybe some will be able to go to you know, NXT or to WWE and find a spot there, but a lot of these guys are just gonna fall off, and we're never going to see them again unless they come wrestle at your local bingo hall at some independent show along the way. I almost honestly, as of right now, feel like I wish they would put them out of the misery and just end it. But I really thought that when Dixie Carter was removed from Power, and the Carters and the Panda Company got out of TNA, that a lot of the stuff would just stop, and they'd be able to just build themselves as a wrestling company, or maybe even just maintain themselves. But the Fight Network, honestly, wanting to pull out, to me, is a surprise. I thought they liked the company, but maybe there's just not enough income coming into the company to keep them going, and maybe you find a way to see if Smashing Pumpkins man himself, Billy, still has money left after buying the NWA, and maybe then once again TNA, Global Force Wrestling Impact, can become the NWA, much like when I had the NWA Championship back in its birth in 2002. So we'll see what happens. I'm guessing this isn't going to end tomorrow, so big story.